It is all about the dads this weekend. This morning we're talking to a parenting author and father of four about different parenting styles and aspects of fatherhood.
Jesse Bradley joins us live. Thanks for being here with us. Let's start with your book. It's about 4 types of dads and 4 elements for every dad. Good morning.
Good morning, Aliana. And yes, that's right. There's over 72 million dads in America, and dads need a fresh vision of the fullness of fatherhood. And here's 4 elements. The first is connected, because nothing's more important in life than relationships, nothing greater than love. So spend time with your family, listen closely to them, and just enjoy the relationships. The second's invested. That's your time, talent, and treasure, making a difference in this world and being generous. You know, my son and I just ran a half marathon to raise money for kids in Africa so they can have clean water. We didn't just want to talk about it, we wanted to do something. And so you can collaborate, make a difference. And then the third is rested, getting good sleep, taking care of your body, setting limits, but also a deeper peace. And for me, the love of God's brought us security that I've needed as a dad. And the last is tested, because storms come, they don't knock first, they're not polite, they show up. And then how are you going to respond? You always get to choose your attitude, and you can choose to be reliable, you can choose to have integrity, and kids are going to watch. It inspires them, it leaves a legacy. So this is part of the fullness of fatherhood. And you know, with the 4 types you mentioned, overall, you know, you think about dads and it can be mixed responses on Father's Day, mixed experiences for us growing up. Some dads were abusive, some absent, some more average, and some very admired. And if you've had a difficult experience with your dad, I just want to encourage you in that path towards forgiveness and healing and restoration. And I've seen it turn around because dads who had an absent father have become very present with their kids. You can move in a positive direction, change the story in the generations of your family, and be grateful for your dad. You probably learned from some of the disappointments, but continue the legacy and the strengths that he brought, and let's honor dads for Father's Day.
Yeah, it's interesting you say that because that's exactly my husband. He did not have the greatest example, and yet he's a really, really good dad. And one thing I think people expect it to be all great or all terrible the whole way through, and giving yourself the grace to accept there's some dads who are really good with babies, some who are better with teenagers, some who are better with adults. It doesn't mean that you're bad at anything, but it's okay that you may be better at one stage than another.
That's true, Tam. That's wise. That's encouraging. You know, it's at every stage and at every age, dads protect and provide. They're to be humble and honest. They're there to serve and make a difference, to build up the kids, and they speak the truth in love. But there are different stages. And right now we have 4 teenagers, and we're also the hub in the neighborhood, so kids coming over all the time. And we just tried to turn that into a lot of fun. You know, there's a few items in our household that have been broken now, but that's what happens when you have a lot of people and a lot of action. And a hard one for me as a dad was to give the keys of the car to my child. A lot of parents out there can probably relate. But instead of that being a negative, we decided we'll travel to California. We picked up a minivan and then drove all the way back to Seattle. It was through the mountains and the snow. We just made memories through that together. It was a bonding experience. So kids need to spread their wings and be able to experience life, and dads need to support them and give them opportunities along the way.
Any particular advice that you have for fathers, especially for families heading into Father's Day, and kind of like the emotional side of life for dads? Oftentimes we don't kind of correlate men and emotions and that sort of thing, but I mean, there's a lot that goes into it.
It's so true, because sometimes we try to compartmentalize and people have a small view of fatherhood, like you're going to work, you're bringing home a paycheck, but that emotional side is so important. And it really starts with entering in. You know, if kids are sad, enter into that sadness. If kids are joyful, celebrate with them. Just enter into where they are. And then also for dads to identify their own feelings and be able to verbalize that. Kids want to know dads. They want to know the inside, their hearts. And a lot of times kids have a sense of it, but when dads put words on it, it's very connecting. And dads can be vulnerable, transparent. If you made a mistake as a dad, just admit it and apologize. Kids are quick to forgive. There can be a real closeness in the bond of the relationship when it includes not just the intellectual, the physical, but go there emotionally and spiritually too.
Jesse Bradley, a lot of wonderful thoughts on fatherhood as we head into the weekend. And we just want to say to you, happy Father's Day.
Thank you so much. dadsandhope.com. It's a free ebook, and love to connect with anyone that's watching.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks, Jesse.